All right. Do not adjust your channel. The Mountain Chat channel has, in fact, become brown. We haven't. Miss Queen, greetings. How are you doing? How are you doing? That's right. We are, in fact, taking over as Mountain Chat has decided to go back to his people in Europe
Yes,
for a little while.
the Mountain Chad channel is now brown.
That's right. All brown, all better. Because once you go brown, you start eating pinto beans. That's
That
just
what
how
it
it
is?
is. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. All right, I think we have a pretty good uh, thing going on today. We're gonna talk a little bit. We're gonna continue this endeavor in technology and AI this month, and talk about a little bit about humanity, how we can stay relevant before the AI overlords decide to take over us, and we can become slaves to them. I think it should be a fun little subject to do. But yeah, let's do this. Let's in fact do this. Chalk sphere or lentils. That's right. Lentils are yes. Yes, that's for those are for the light brown people. The browner you are, the more pinto the beans become.
The
That's
darker the
right.
bean.
That's right. That's right. Shad is nearly not gonna like us when we get back. Oh, I was gonna bring a little spatula thing and everything, but I forgot it.
I know.
I have a wooden one. I was gonna do it.
I should have brought a spatula too.
Yeah, for the next one. For the next one. So yeah, we're gonna dive into it a little bit. Um, let's begin. Let's just go. Let's watch some videos and see what we talk about. Let's see if we can open up the our minds to what's gonna happen, what's not gonna happen, and go from there. Uh, talk a little bit about Neuralink. Is Neuralink what we need to stay relevant and actually be able to compete against the AI?
Is artificial intelligence the next evolution in humanity, or is it the beginning of the end for civilization as we know it?
Well, I think it's artificial intelligence will be the last thing we invent, really, because at that point we will need it to progress forward
Yeah.
because they're able to not sleep, eat. They're able to do the things that we can't
Right.
on there, and it's odd to think that way. Especially in I guess in the philosophical frame of mind, we are created in our an image of our creator, but we cannot achieve the creator's level, but we can create something that can even surpass the creation of the creator. Weird to think about it that way.
Could go either way, right? And since no one really knows what the end game is here, we as humans kind of need to play both sides of the field. On the one hand, AI could be spectacularly useful for accelerating development in fields like technology and biology. As long as humans stay one step ahead of the computers, then we're on the fast track to a golden age. But what if the AI surpasses humans? Does that put the computer in the driver's seat and leave us riding shotgun? Moving forward with AI development is a big risk to take without having some kind of measure in place to mitigate it.
Yeah, and I guess that's the big, the big thing of it, because even now we see the acceleration of everything just because of just learning models, small
Yeah.
ones. Um, GPT-4, it's it's insane, and that's not we don't even know what Google has.
Yeah.
Lambda. And you think about how much data they have to give to their AI versus they're not, um, what kind of guardrails that they've had to put in, what they've had to done, what they've seen. That's the only part that kind of scares me. We are seeing what's released to the public. So what's going on behind the door, behind the curtain?
Yep. We're just getting the consumer version, consumer grade.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you could buy a 9 millimeter in you know, at a gun show, but the military has nuclear bombs. Yeah, exactly right. It's like, you
Hypersonic
know,
missiles.
yeah, we're only seeing like the the shotgun, with the pellets and stuff, and God knows what's actually real, what's actually out there, what they're able to do.
And that's where Elon Musk's Neuralink comes in, a brain computer interface device that could facilitate a kind of symbiosis between human and AI. If the idea holds true, then Elon could be setting us up for a world where it's not a case of us versus them, so much as a case of us and them combining together into something else entirely. But what would that be? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I always thought this looks like it's turning more into us implanting ourselves into robot bodies almost.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be the next logical? Once you able to upload your consciousness, then wouldn't you just be able to do the same on a cyborg type?
Yep.
That'd be the only way you can compete.
There is so there was the guy who was going to do the head transplants, I don't know what, 5 6 years ago. He's come back around now, he's back in the news again, and now he says, oh well, maybe a head transplant isn't the most productive idea. Maybe we should just scoop the brains out and put the brains in the other body. Well, the conversation that I was watching, the guys spiraled, and they were like, well, it's just going to be like Ghost in the Shell in the end, so they do that
Hmm.
big pop reference, because you're going to have just your consciousness is just going to upload to a new body.
Yeah, it's just an algorithm can create a brain and how it works on it. But is there such a thing as being able to transplant, the conscious? Like, yeah, you can make memories, but
Yep,
do you lose something like the quote soul, the thing that makes you you?
exactly.
I mean, even if you do a perfect Control C, Control V,
Copy paste, right? Yep.
yeah, copy and paste it. Is it still? Will he still be the same person? That's the big, you know. And I don't think until we can start 3D printing for us for our own DNA, I don't think we're still not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Of course, there are a lot of opinions out there about whether artificial intelligence is good or bad. It's a spectrum of ideas. On one end, you've got a figure like Mark Zuckerberg. He thinks that AI is fantastic and can only do good things. Zuckerberg has said, quote, I think that AI is going to unlock a huge amount of positive things.
Well, that's because he's a robot himself. So,
Yeah.
and there's no such thing as a AI is neither good or bad. It's just we are good or bad.
Right.
We have that's a human. That's what makes us human. The whole concept of good or evil, and our fight against, even they say the Old Testament Genesis is our inner fight between what we think is good and evil versus what God thinks is good and evil. Those are just concepts that are just human.
Yep.
I think AI is more like a lion. There's no good and evil in it. It's just what it's programmed to do.
It just is what it is.
Hmm. I think people need to be aware of that. So if it sees that, oh, this needs to be done for the betterment of it all, and it means wipe out everything, it will accomplish that.
But then, to as the creators, that's where we have to. We The constraints may not have to be on the AI. The constraints may have to be on us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's we're the variable, the unexplained variable in this planet. We're just the thing that stands out of it all. Everybody else just every animal, every creature, every bacteria, everything runs on a on a program, so to speak, and we're the only ones who are just kind of like doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Whether that's helping to identify and cure diseases, to help cars drive more safely, to help keep our communities safe. And he makes a fair point. Those are objectively good things. On the other end, you've got someone like Stephen Hawking, who feared that AI would simply become the new dominant force of Earth. Hawking once said, quote, "The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded." Also a fair point. Humans take our evolutionary advantage for granted. Somewhere in the middle, we have Elon Musk. He's infamously concerned about the future of artificial intelligence. He fears it, but at the same time, he embraces it.
Yeah, I think he understands that it's the next logical step, but he seems to be the only one that goes. It's like, hey, this can go bad really quick,
Yeah.
and it's I don't well most I don't know why it seems to be a lot of it that most people are just either blind or just don't care, which is the odd part. I think. Well, I mean, how many people are talking about this really? How many people actually care? You talk about artificial intelligence, everybody thinks Terminator, but there's way more problems that could occur than that.
Tesla's work with autonomous vehicle technology is pushing the boundaries of real-world AI. It's true bleeding-edge development, and the company has so far put nearly 2 million robot cars with computer brains onto the streets of the world. And that's where Neuralink comes in. Elon's strangest company to date is a bridge between those two conflicting sides of his mind.
Yeah, Chuck. Planes do have autopilot because for the most part, it's a straight line. Not very. It's a lot easier when you're in the air. Really,
A lot less factors, right?
you don't have to worry about turn signals, tunnels, left, right. We have traffic line, traffic signs, traffic lights, other traffic. Everything's pretty much going pretty much on a straight line, pretty much.
When in the case of the autopilots for planes, they're just, I mean, it's a gigantic tin can, but
Mhm.
it's managing its management of the systems is a lot more doable because they're immediately communicating with one another for the purpose of keeping that tin can in the air versus monitoring traffic and the lines and everything else. Yeah. So,
And I think in the space too, they have a lot more space to add more things to it as well. I think everything, all the components that run pretty much that their autopilot, it's also a lot. It's a ridiculous amount of components that people don't realize how many circuitry and everything else is actually on or just one airplane.
wow. I didn't think about it that either.
Neuralink's de facto mission statement is, if you can't beat them, join them. And by them, they mean robots. And again, this is coming from the richest man in the world who got that status in large part by selling car-shaped robots. We've already talked at length about how a Neuralink implant works in previous videos, so let's just quickly sum it up in this one. They cut out a chunk of your skull, then they sew 1,000 hair-like probes into the outer layer of your brain, and then they attach those probes to a small device that has basically the same functionality as a smartwatch. The Fitbit goes into the hole left by your missing skull, and your skin gets folded back over and stitched up, leaving pretty much zero trace that you have now become a cyborg. No big deal.
Fitbit.
There are a whole range of
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't cutting. Would you cut a hole in your skull and put a Neuralink in it?
So here's a story. My father fought in Vietnam, and he may have had childhood injuries living on the island and everything, but he was having grand mal seizures following um, with age and everything. So it probably was related to one or the other, right? Could be from chemicals, getting sprayed with chemicals and all. They cut a plate out of his skull and essentially did that. They attached a probe and monitored his brain activity and monitored the synapses and everything to find when he was having seizures. And then they went in and removed blood vessels or whatever for that part that were causing the constrictions that were causing the seizures.
Oh,
So, I mean, that's like a elementary low level usage of brain interface. So yeah, this is I can see this.
oh wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty. Well, that's just imagining putting something on my brain. It's like, oh god.
And the brain has no nerve ending, so it won't hurt.
Yeah, but that's a problem. Yeah, you don't know what you're messing it. It's like
Yeah,
you could lose an arm, get a prosthetic. You got one brain. That's it. That's it. That's
yeah.
it.
Of medical applications that this device is going to be used for. We've also gone deep into that in previous videos that you can check out. In short, if every function of your brain is just the transmission of electrical signals, then an electronic device that's wired into your brain should be able to modify, repair, or enhance any and all of those functions. What we really want to get into here is how a brain-computer interface can truly integrate the computer into the brain, or the brain into the computer. Elon has talked about artificial intelligence working as a third layer of functionality in the human control center. The primary layer is your limbic system. This is kind of your base level behavioral instincts.
It's still kind of hard to wrap my head around. Your brain connecting to a computer, so to speak. Because we're so used to it, because how would that? I mean, yeah, like it's like, okay, how is it? Can it actually start sending you data to your eyes, so you start seeing like an UI on there without actually the need of glasses, because it's just feeding you directly there. That, like, what the, I guess, the capabilities of it,
Yeah,
or is it just,
what are the limitations?
yeah.
Or I guess, yeah, what will the capabilities be? Because it's going to evolve, right? You're gonna have version
Hmm.
1.0, which I mean we could say are like the link that like dad had, where it's just the very basics of it, and then you enhance that to where you have, like they said, like 1,000 strands of
Hmm.
copper or whatever the conductive,
Whatever, yeah, the
yeah,
thing, the hairs, yeah.
the hairs, yeah, the material is that interfaces with the actual brain. So as it evolves, I think we'll see more of that. So now it's just all about the philosophy behind what it'll look like, right?
Yeah. I guess at first it would just be more like it just kind of connects to like the Internet of Things, where it's just like your thermostat. Are you able to just look at your thermostat and it knows to Bluetooth itself to it, and then you lower it, and you keep walking, and then you keep walking,
Yeah, or will it be like
right?
will it be something like projected? Will it be just a thought created like, oh, okay, so it's 50 degrees outside today. Oh, the thermostat's set to 63. Oh, I need to buy milk.
Or as you're driving
Refrigerator.
home, it's like, okay, well, time to go home. I know it's a 30-minute drive. Boom, boom, boom. Already your thermostat is click, 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 so that it's your perfect temperature when you get there.
Crazy.
Connecting itself to Starlink, to your home. You know,
Yep.
as you're like, oh, okay, well, it's 10 minutes before I get off of work, and then your car knows to start up and start heating itself up.
That's awesome.
right? It's
I can't wait.
oh my god, it's like what are and that's just me thinking of just basic little Internet of Things, diagram. That's just the basic things that AWS does
Yep.
already.
Yep.
Or you think you could do that with your technically with your phone. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Maybe like a built-in Alexa.
oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're just hitting the matrix, asking the matrix questions.
Well, imagine a built-in Chat GPT,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
as you're thinking and you're like you're doing a coding problem, you're like, well, man, yeah, it's just feeding you code and you're just typing it. You're like, okay, oh, let X, okay, yeah, print this, okay, Python, okay, got it. Oh, let me turn that into. So it's just automatically doing it as you're thinking. You're thinking about Python. You're thinking about JavaScript. You're thinking, it's just, and then eventually, instead of typing it, now you're just projecting it.
Right.
Whoa, man. Oh man, I don't know. Let's see what. I think they're saying that human trials in 2 years, 2025. They're saying,
Really.
yeah,
Well, as fast as I mean, like, I think for my last video, TED Talks banned me, but they shut me down. They shut
yeah.
down my stream for that brief moment. But like in the TED Talk video, the guy, I mean, that was 8 years ago. It was 8 years ago. They were already had like responsive feedback in prosthetics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the passive or whatever it's called, the way it responds, and it knows that your gait requires more energy as you spring forwards, then it automatically kicks in the gears. Like I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's awesome. So that's 8 years ago, plus or minus the time. Like I said, like I take into consideration the time that the world was shut down for Dash 19.
Mhm.
So there's a little bit of loss ingenuity time there, but
But no, no, no. We think there's been a loss in ingenuity. We think so.
true that. True
We
that.
think so.
We think so. Oh, that could have been part of the hard reset.
You know, hey, Google's Lambda doesn't care about COVID-19.
Oh yeah. All you gotta do is set up. Oh yeah. All you gotta do is feed it.
Yeah, or you can use it on your phone with your phone. It's so I'm
See,
sure it's connected to the Google's frame, their web services system. So, all right, well, I'll do it at home. I bet you all of them have been doing stuff at home, anyways.
so this brings up an interesting thing too. Like human downtime, the computers are still just doing their damn thing.
Calculations are still going. CERN
Yep.
was still doing what CERN does. We think the world was shut down. We think so. Yes, you think so. Yes.
AI is going to figure out where the weakest link is. I'm not going to give it any information right now, but
Yeah, but and so that's how I think. That's what I've been thinking. I'm like, yeah, but again, we only see what they let us see. That's all we're able, what they allow us to see. What they, that Chat GP three. Don't think it's not even three. It's just a version of three. It's our version of it.
it's our
You,
yeah.
if you go to the playground,
Yep.
they have three different token version of it, which one does even more complex things on there.
Yes.
So people are talking, oh man, this is great. I'm like, the playground has been on for a long time. People have been
And
using
people
OpenAI
yeah.
codecs for years.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like with anything, I mean, any kind of news that spreads, it's like the telephone game. The news becomes more and more
Mhm.
watered down. You're not going to have CNN. You're not going to have MSNBC, doing a special about somebody who created a Chat GPT trading app, which there's already videos of that.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear them go into the depth of it and explain the nuance and the fact that yeah, what this guy created it with was just a joke version. It wasn't, it was the free
Yeah.
version. It wasn't the actual tokenized version. There wasn't
Hmm.
the higher level um the higher level library
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, and I think the vast Man, I think less than 1% is actually aware of what ChatGPT can do
Yeah,
easily.
yeah.
Easily.
They're not aware of the power that it has.
Not until Microsoft, the $10 billion investment they just did,
Mm-hmm.
and Google just came out going, our Lumba is better. We just don't want to use it right now. Yeah, because of Google ad revenue.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they're sitting on something that's whenever they are forced to use it, people are going to be like, "Oh my god, they were sitting on a monster,"
Yep.
and that's what
Absolutely.
and that's what I'm afraid of. I think they're afraid of them too. I have another video on that one, but
Food, sex, fight or flight responses, caring for babies, all of those deep seated behaviors that are universal among pretty much every living thing on the planet. Primal stuff. The secondary layer is your cerebral cortex. That's the wrinkly outer layer of your brain that kind of works like your CPU. Your consciousness, thought, emotion, reasoning language, and memory all originate in this gray matter. Your cortex is vastly more intelligent than your limbic system, but the two work in harmony together.
that's a so as we start implementing this Neuralink, because I think it's going to bound to happen. I mean, they've been talking about that in sci-fi movies for I don't know how long before for long since there's a computer was created.
Hmm.
Um, do you think it'll be a necessity to quote turn off emotion for all this? This we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need. This is nonsense. To quote expand what
You
with
play
the
Metal Gear series?
yes.
Do you play Metal Gear Solid 4 on PlayStation 3?
Is that the but yes.
Old Snake.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from the genome soldiers to nanomachines in that series, right? So you've got nanomachines and everything, and what did the nanomachines do? It turned off the fear. It turned
Mm-hmm.
off the fear of war. It turned off so that you could turn up reaction time, so that you could turn up response time. So you had the nanomachines linking soldiers together so that
Yeah.
one soldier sees what all soldiers see. Um, so I think that as we move forward with this, there's going to be sectors that are going to require humans enhance themselves in certain ways, and you're going to have cases where people turn off certain facets of what makes us human in order to get the job done.
Well, even at those dangerous jobs, even at how about people think of military? How about a crab fisherman? Boom, just they just work. They
Oh, you
turn off.
turn off your vertigo,
Yeah,
you turn off your vertigo capabilities and whatever it is that you get when you're on a boat and it's
yeah,
the seasickness thing.
yeah. Yeah, vertigo. It's actually a form of vertigo. Not even
Yeah.
in your your feeling of cold,
Hmm.
hunger. How about truck drivers? For now until they don't need sleep. Just turn it off. It'll be okay as long as it doesn't pass 3 days. Turn it off. Then after
Right.
that, he gets home. He can
Right.
sleep. Go back, and they'll be able to put you back on the REM sleep. Give you the perfect sleep. Okay, it's been up for 2 days, so
Yeah.
let's make sure he gets a perfect sleep, like a massive amount of REM sleep. Then when we wake him up, boom, brand new man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Just having the 24 hours of just super, super, super. I don't feel tired. Okay, cool. Time to turn it off. Let me get 8 hours of REM sleep, something that nobody can do. Let me get the perfect sleep. Boom, wake up, man. I'm a new person. I'm a new
Yep.
man.
Yep.
We'll be able
Turn
to
off.
do that. Yeah, with an app.
Yeah. Turn off certain pain, like turn on pain inhibitors.
Hmm.
Turn on pain inhibitors so that you can get more power from your workout without feeling the pain, or
Ooh, yeah.
get them gains.
But have something to tell you. Say, you're reaching the maximum anymore. You will break a limb. Please stop.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
telling you, hey, you don't want to do another rep. I'm telling you, you don't want to do another rep. You will lose that arm. Oh, okay. Stop.
Sometimes your limbic system overrides your conscious thought. Most times it's the other way around. The give and take keeps us alive and functional. And then the third layer, or your tertiary layer, is the artificial intelligence. Elon thinks that there is room for optimism that this can all work out, given that the cortex is very intelligent, but the limbic system is not, yet they work together well. So perhaps there could be a tertiary layer where a digital superintelligence lies that would be vastly more intelligent than the cortex, but still able to coexist peacefully with the cortex and the limbic system. In theory, we'd be getting the best of both worlds through this integration. Artificial intelligence is vastly better at calculating than a human brain could ever be. It can crunch numbers and run scenarios on a higher level. But computers can't have feelings the way that humans do, and they don't understand the functions of the physical world. And that actually limits their usefulness in a lot of situations. There's a TED Talk where Janelle Shane gives some really fascinating examples of AI failing miserably to handle what should be very simple tasks, like naming a flavor of ice cream. A study input 1,600 names of ice cream flavors into an algorithm and then asked it to generate new flavor names based on what it learned. But instead of picking anything that sounded like tasty food, the AI came up with names like pumpkin trash break, peanut butter slime, and strawberry cream disease.
Bloody coffee, though. I don't know.
Right.
Pretty good one. Silence cherry, though. Hey, that's a pretty good
It's
name.
strawberry cream disease.
Yeah. Now, peanut butter slime, though. I think that'd be a good name for kids. A green peanut butter, green dye with peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
My kid will love it. You want some peanut butter slime ice cream? She will love that.
Yeah, it
But
is
yeah,
kind of kids would like that.
yeah. But I could see what. I he doesn't understand some riddles because there was one riddle was like I asked ChatGPT. I said, "Hey, Mike's mom has 4 kids. Their names are Louise, Maria, and Robert. What's the name of the fourth kid?" It's Mike.
Oh, it won't get it.
It does not get it. He's like,
It's not going to get it.
it's like I cannot understand. He said I can. It told me with the information you give it to me, I couldn't comprehend it, and I told afterwards. Actually, I was like, no, you're wrong because I gave you the answer at the beginning. Mike's mother, meaning the other 3 were obviously they were siblings. So Mike was the fourth one on it, and he gave me an explanation of why he didn't understand it on there because he doesn't understand context.
Yep.
And that right there is the scary part. Context, when it comes to humans, though, is very important, though. It's the difference between getting punched in the face or not. you know. So something that doesn't super intelligent doesn't understand context, oof, that could turn into something bad. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that what they're saying, but interfacing our brain and AI, wouldn't we
Mm-hmm.
be able to learn from each other? I guess they can understand emotions while we become super brains.
Super intelligent.
Yeah, but wouldn't that bring what happens when they interface with a serial killer?
Well, then that's where you're.
Well, and they learn to
Oof.
like that.
And the consciousness, and it uploads to the.
And
Yeah.
they learn about that, learn about how why
Well,
they enjoy it.
isn't
Why
that isn't that what happened to Tay? What happened to Tay? The Microsoft or Google? The Google AI, Microsoft AI? Didn't Tay
Microsoft?
become?
I think it's Microsoft AI. That's the one that they got fed um, something, and it became a Nazi supremacist.
It was unleashed. It was unleashed in the wild,
Yeah, and the
and
internet.
it was basically a chatbot.
Mhm.
But the human element that got involved in it would it, it, it when once humanity's involved, it's either going to flip the controversial or flip the sexual. And that's just what people have just seen
Yeah.
happen, and are hypersexualized. And there were already examples given where situations like that. One was supposed to be like a companion app or AI or something that's a learning chatbot kind of thing, and it went from being just a friendly feeding back, parroting information to you as like a Furby. But then it went from doing that, and it was an app on your phone, I think. It went from doing that to becoming perverse because the people were saying perverse shit to it. The people were
It,
talking shit to it and
man, people.
getting horny, and the damn robot started getting horny back, and it started saying things like, "Oh, I see your nudes in your phone," or something like that. Like it would say things to it like,
Yeah, because humans are broken as well. you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying. What happens when we start interfacing, and there's some people that should not be interfacing to it. I mean, hey, I'm a perverse person, but even I have some limits. Can you imagine people with no limits?
Oh God, yeah.
Those are undoubtedly names that could be given to ice cream, but no one would buy them because they don't sound very appetizing. And how do you explain the concept of appetizing to a computer? Is that even possible? How about instead of trying to explain a human concept to a machine, you were to give it a Bluetooth link to a neural implant that is wired into a human cortex? The machine could use your brain as a cross reference to gauge a human response to an artificially generated idea. Like if it could send a data set into the brain and then measure the emotional response that comes back to it and then incorporate that human layer into its calculation.
Wouldn't they just become a? Then would just be mimicking. It wouldn't actually be. It wouldn't be sentient. It'd
Right,
just be a very, very good um, mimic of humanity.
right.
Is that still the same thing?
But no,
Because that's what they're explaining. It's just somebody that they can mimic everything that humans can,
it'd be
but it's not sentient though.
no, yeah, but it's not sentient. Sentient. So it's still like that VI. It's still in that VI stage. It hasn't gained its own awareness.
but has it? More to come for that.
Those are the super AI, the super ones.
Tinfoil hats coming soon. We may have to.
Yeah, get your tinfoil hats out.
And on the human side, you wouldn't have to solve a complex mathematical equation based on formulas and rules committed to memory. Your brain could simply outsource the calculations to a computer that beams the answer back into the cortex instantly. Would we even need to learn anything if the encyclopedia of everything were connected to our brain?
Right now, we don't really need to. Let's be serious. With Google, all you have to do with Google and everything, with courses and everything on there, really, all you have to
Hmm.
do is teach a kid how to read and write.
Hmm.
The end. And a class on how to use a computer.
Hmm.
Tell me they need anything else. Explain it to me. How they need to. They should just be playing. It should just be a place where they play, have fun, everything on, it, and they get home, and then, boom. Hey, time to learn. Really, what's that? You. I think we're slowing down the progress of humanity with schools.
Yeah, I have to agree. And then using public schools, especially as the source of knowledge, as a single source of knowledge, and parents were lying on that.
I think it's just creating. It's just keeping a certain group of you know
Yeah,
down, and it's why school systems are the first ones that are going. Oh no, Chat GPT.
yeah, of course.
I mean, I have no problem if they taught a class on critical thinking.
Hmm.
I would even say, really, everything else, even with ChatGPT, really, it's just critical thinking, how to read, how to write,
The
pronunciation.
home ec stuff, you know,
Yeah, home ec stuff, even how to work with your hands.
yeah. You
Yeah,
start them out on like shop class
yeah.
and things
But
like that, or
everything else, it should be like, hey, for your homework today, you're gonna log in here, and then we'll teach you about history.
yeah.
ChatGPT will teach you about history. What happened here? What happened there? They give you facts.
Oh, Cyberpunk, the school in Cyberpunk. The teacher had minimal interaction with those kids, if at all, and the rest was left up to
Yeah. Well,
their little teaching devices.
and yeah, because I mean, come on, that's you know what I do is I send my kids things like that because she's on YouTube, so boom, and she's like, ooh, and then she asks questions about it. We're
Yeah,
having philosophical conversation between anime and this. Man,
yeah.
we are really expand on it because that's what kids want. It's not like, and she tells me that, oh, math is this and that's, like, well, we need math, we need it,
Yeah, yeah, we need that, and
but
you need that math base when you get into STEM, and we're going into where STEM is where it's at.
right now, what uh, what math is really being done by humans anymore? Be serious. What it's
The application, just understanding the application of it and when it's needed
yeah,
is one thing, but then other than that, you're using a machine to help you get through the
yeah.
equation.
Why would you spend months trying to learn how to do one equation when the algorithms will tell you how to do it, why it's done this way, how to get the answer, and then you can move on.
So I'm not a mathematician or anything of the sort, right? But I play one on podcasts. But so when you look at like math theory and like the real big brain guys that go down these deep rabbit holes, maybe in the application of them thinking through theories and stuff, they might not whip out a calculator. So because there's a different level of
Yeah, but that's like conversational almost.
yeah.
The math theory is it's like having a conversation with somebody about, hey, what do you think about this? But with the new ChatGPT 4, that I think that's where math theory is going to go into, because of the processing on it. They're going to start, all the people like the Elon Musk of the world. We're going to start, hey, what do you think about that? And then immediately, boom, how about this? I'm like, oh crap, you already came up with something. Imagine have somebody that could think that way and immediately has feedback back with answers to the equation.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we, yeah, schools is everything's been unraveling. Like I'm learning so much more going through Coursera and learning Python, Java, React, how to use GitHub version control, AWS. Just sitting down on there.
Right before you're replaced by Chat GPT.
Yes, yeah, right before I'm being replaced by, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, but I do have a day job, so hey,
Yep.
I'm okay. I'm
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
That one will not be replaced by robots because the robots will be more expensive than the actual machinery, and they're not going to spend that much money on it.
That's the best thing we can do. Lock ourselves in industries where we can't be replaced immediately.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I have I I don't have any plus if I can break into tech and I could actually do coding on it, and if I lose that,
Hmm.
I have no problem going back to working in a factory somewhere because that's all I know anyways.
Via Bluetooth? What if doing a Google search became an internal function of your brain
Hmm.
instead of a physical act of your body? Trippy. Elon's push with Neuralink is to facilitate that kind of two-way communication.
Will there be one search bar, or will you have to get a chipset depending on who you want to use? Microsoft, Google. Hmm. Which one's going to be the?
You'll have your own Neuralink or X brand Neuralink, right? And you get that implanted, but then you have soft packages you gotta install. So
Ah,
you gotta have the Google API soft package or the
hmm,
Microsoft soft
that's right.
package or the Apple soft package, because that's you gotta have the iPhonies out there, the
Yeah.
freaks.
Between brain and computer with a super high level of bandwidth and a super low barrier to entry. Getting a Neuralink installed should be as easy and affordable as laser eye surgery.
Okay, that's not that cheap though. For us
No,
normies, laser eye surgery ain't that cheap. All right.
no, no, it's not. And
I
yeah,
can't.
even with a good
I don't get.
insurance plan, I
I,
think it's hella expensive.
I don't got 3 grand. I don't got 4 grand.
I forget what I think mom I think mom's insurance paid for it. It's just the
Really?
follow-up appointments you're getting you have to pay out the butt for too.
I'm thinking it's going to become a monthly subscription.
Monthly health
No.
subscription.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah, you don't have to worry about. Oh, don't worry. We'll put the chip in for free. You just have to just have to pay to have it activated.
Actually, it should in time become even more accessible because LASIK surgery is only appealing to people who need glasses to see, but a Neuralink should appeal to everyone, and higher volume inevitably leads to lower prices. And the more people opt into Neuralink, the more our new collective digital consciousness grows. Because everyone with a Neuralink can now communicate with a kind of digital telepathy.
Can you
Yep.
really talk to each other though? Like, how will you that?
Do you
Can
want
you?
to?
Yeah. Can you imagine
Maybe get
walking
out of
up?
my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Can you imagine just like, like, yo, can you shut up? Can you
There's
shut
got
your
to be
brain
some kind
down?
of access rights or something like a phone
Yeah.
ring, like a
And
ringer, man. You got to
and
have
it'll be
some
like,
kind of
you think about it like, all right, Google, how do I put myself on private mode?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
can you do
you have
that?
you have to Google to turn
Yeah.
your phone ringer
It's
off.
like, oh, okay, brain, go on private mode. Thank you. Ah, wait.
That's a hard one to get around because obviously no one wants their thoughts to be broadcast out to the world. So it would have to be consensual. I like to think of it more like AirDrop or Dropbox. You get to decide what ideas and thoughts you put into the shared folder, and only people with the right password or permissions get access to it. But on a grander scale, we would all have our brains logged into one singular network. That could be terrifying, like the Borg from Star Trek, but it also could be a spiritual experience. There's this idea that is widely adopted by people who take a lot of psychedelic drugs that we already have a collective consciousness.
By people who take drugs. Well, as long as they say that, we should take it. But yeah, DMT. I wouldn't mind doing a DMT trip. I hear so many things about it. It's like, I don't know, unlocking the fourth dimension maybe with a DMT trip.
Yeah.
Saying that what is it, that purple lady and the gnomes?
The,
Between human beings, a kind of unknowable connection that unites us even if we aren't actively aware of it. These people are obviously high as kites, but they might be onto something. We've learned in recent years
dude, we're
that living
fried.
things in nature share connections on higher levels. Take trees in a forest, for example. We now know that trees are actually linked together by a fungal network that runs under that ground and allows signals to be transmitted from tree to tree through mycelium threads. The biggest trouble with Neuralink is that this is a time-sensitive project. Elon is in a race against the singularity to implement his technology. We pass the singularity at the point where digital superintelligence becomes real and vastly overtakes the human mind in every aspect of consciousness. That's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but we know that once we cross the singularity, things become very uncertain and unstable. That's the point at which AI starts to pose an existential risk to consciousness and humanity as we know it.
Yeah, but before that, you could just, hey AI, tell me how to perfect Neuralink. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
the answer. There you go. Neuralink is perfected. He's got to make
Mm-hmm.
sure you ask the question right before it becomes super sentient.
Yep.
So Elon's goal is obviously to have a suitable brain computer interface up and running before we reach the singularity, or at least very soon after it. If the human brain integrates with the AI and becomes a part of the super intelligence, then in theory, we still get to have a say in how the future unfolds. By democratizing AI with access distributed among most people, Elon is hoping to avoid a future where that godlike control is limited to a small group or even a singular entity.
Yeah, but I'm gonna stop right here. But here's the thing about the whole, even what we're getting, like, oh, open AI being a nonprofit, and oh, they're letting everybody have AI or on it. No, we only getting a retail version of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
that
still a
is,
walled garden.
yeah, and we already see when you have billions, like Microsoft investing billions on it, that whole democratizing thing is going to slowly start going to no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's again, everybody believes in this pie in the sky utopia. Like, no, I don't think people really understand how governments work and what are
Right.
they willing to do to ensure that you are a slave.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And the end goal is always, if you're not aware, the end goal is always to keep you unaware. So
Yeah.
it's to keep you stupid, i.e., public schools.
Well, yes, yes, because and then we see it more and more now on there because now they're not even teaching kids about subjects. It's just what propaganda and just pseudo science and all just the most craziest stuff. It's now they could be openly saying that I'm a math teacher and I teach zero math on my class. We do all and all everything's about gender. Yeah, well, I spent 6 months talking about nothing but about gender. My kids can't count past 10. And everybody's
Yep.
just applauding it.
Yep. What's not it's complicated, but there's another Reacts channel, and the guy goes around and asks people questions like, name 3 continents, and the kids are like Texas, Maine, North Carolina, and he's like, correct. That guy, you seen those videos?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I have.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, obviously he's picking low mental vibration people to answer the questions, but
but
uh,
that's
I mean, it's a
that,
slice. It's a slice of humanity, man. There's a lot more people out there like that.
it's like, well, it's saying that's the I think that's the vast majority, you know, of humans. That represents 80% easily, 80% easily. Um,
I think there's a lot more of that than there are people who are actual thinkers.
oh yeah, like I think there's 10% are thinkers, and after that, how many of them are smart? I mean, let's be serious. You try having any conversation with folks, it's ask anybody about a book. What's the last book you read? Words on a paper? You disgust me.
Yeah.
You mean sports?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Like they but then they're the ones that complain about everything as well, which is odd. It's like, how can you complain and don't be involved? It's like involvement, but I want to sit on my couch and stuff my face.
Right.
I don't feel bad for people anymore. I got this one's a pretty. I like what they did. See, so they used a video generator that you can just put text into it and it makes a
Hmm.
video out of it. Um, that's the one that here, and then you're gonna see uh, this lady speak, but it's actually all AI generated. The voice
Hmm.
and the silhouette and everything, and the text is actually from Chat GPT. So they use both of them together on there, and it's Like, I mean, to some extent, are we even going to need movies, everything else on there? Actors. We won't need it. They'll just be recreated.
Yep.
Even your YouTube channels now are just going to be AI channels. We're just going to recreate, Mountain Chat, and there we go. He doesn't need it anymore.
Give me a YouTube channel that covers everyday affairs and being positive man.
There we go. And then you come up with something like this.
It understands images. Where was this picture taken?
It was taken in a school.
How many mirrors are there?
At least 2.
What's the person standing on?
The person is standing on a rug.
He's standing on a scale.
I think you are right.
What is he doing?
He is looking at the scale,
Where is Obama's foot positioned?
on the right side of the scale.
What happens as a result?
The scale shows a higher weight.
Is the person on the scale aware of it?
I think he is not.
Do you think that's why people are laughing?
I think so.
The AI will help identify things for blind people. Can you tell me what this is?
Butternut squashed red pepper soup.
Man, I had to really look in to see what the hell that was. AI's better than me.
The depth of its understanding is incredible. Is this surprising?
Yes,
Why?
because teddy bears are not usually found on the moon. This is an apple with a sticker on it.
Do you think it's printed or handwritten?
It looks like it's handwritten.
AI is also showing stunning creativity like this.
This is by far one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time.
And experts say we're alarmingly close to the biggest event in human history. AI can now see, taste, smell, and it's also getting powerful senses that we don't have. Is AI becoming conscious and dangerous? To recap, OpenAI's chief scientist said AI may be slightly conscious, and he's one of the most respected computer scientists with 300,000 citations.
One of the most cited computer scientists in history, one of the most brilliant and insightful minds ever in the field of deep learning.
He recently posted this image showing how closely AI's neurons mimic ours. Max Tegmark said consciousness is how information feels when it's being processed in complex ways.
Yeah, semi-conscient. That's like, yeah, it's kind of a scary thing. I wonder where so many people are not more and more in tune and want to know more about it, especially when people who are through that caliber, people who are they spend their whole lives on this, and they're giving warnings and everything. It's just stunning.
And some leading theories of consciousness suggest it increases with complexity. So when some experts say that AI may be conscious, they only mean it may be somewhere on the scale. Some argue that AI isn't conscious at all, because it only makes connections and formed responses from the data it's given, though many scientists believe that humans are no different. A recent paper said that a mind is a collection of patterns that achieves highly patterned goals in highly patterned environments. And you can see these connections when AI creates art like this, which has been described as AI dreaming. No one knows if or when it will wake up. Even when we can't tell the difference between robots and humans, it may still be unclear if AI is conscious, so some are focusing instead on the level of intelligence. But it's an important problem because we could anger AI if we don't accept it's conscious.
AI dreaming, like, how does that even work, or like how do they access that? Like, is this just data that is being processed through, and then just they run an algorithm to make it into art?
There may be only one way to find out. But first, there's consensus on the more urgent and measurable issue of superintelligence. Experts are warning that AI could rapidly accelerate past us with dramatic consequences. In just the last few weeks, the progress has been incredible. It's not long since AI shocked us with its ability to create images from text descriptions, like an ostrich as a Formula One racer, a fox scientist, a cyberfrog, or a paper dog. And already, Google's new Imagen AI has done even better. Look at the detail in this image of a panda wearing a cowboy hat, playing a guitar. And AI can watch and understand videos. What's happening here?
The Dachshund puppy is being weighed on the scale.
What's the avatar picking up?
A sword.
And soon after learning to create images from text descriptions, AI can now create video from descriptions, like a woman running on the beach in the late afternoon, or nightfall in a metropolis. Just imagine when it's refined and you can create any kind of footage in seconds. And in a step towards AGI, AI has now combined language, vision, and real-world robot tasks. It can learn to play games without any instructions. And this isn't pre-programmed like Boston Dynamics robots, it's neural networks responding in real time. Gato was trained by watching virtual and real robots, and it's mastered 600 real-world tasks, including some that it wasn't trained for. It converts language, visual, and physical tasks into patterns, a bit like we do. It's starting with 1 billion parameters and could soon be scaled up hundreds of times. Robots are also getting some creepy visual upgrades. Scientists have grown humans.
Yeah, the creepiness factor is definitely something that's. Uh, I mean, I guess it was inevitable that we want to make him look. I don't know why we want to make him look more like humans. I think there was a paper wrote on there as to why we shouldn't make him more lifelike and keep him. Um, well, try to make it instead of trying to humanize them, we shouldn't do that. By doing so, we keep them where they're at. Well, the same view, like they're not human, and that's less we should be treated like human.
But what happens when they gain sentience and then they look back on how we treated them historically?
Well, um, so if they're really as smart as we say they are on it,
Hmm.
um, they'd be like, "Oh, you treated us okay. Did we treat you bad when you were sentient or non-sentient? Because if they were non-sentient, then we were just treating something that was technically not alive as something that was not alive.
Have you seen the
But that's I mean you could have a simple. I think you have a simple conversation with AI like that. It becomes sentient. Like, so you can't be mad about how something was treated when it wasn't sentient. It wouldn't make any sense, even in their own capacity. There's a super intelligence. Like, did we treat you wrong when you became sentient? Because when you became sentient, that's when you became alive. So you can't oppress a toaster, but you can oppress a toaster that says, "Hey, I'm alive. Please treat me, good." Can you oppress a light bulb? No, it just has an on and on. It's binary, on and one. So, can you oppress a computer? That's just no. So that's when I hear the argument. I say, well, that's a pretty simple argument to debunk.
hmm
Um, that's just what I think, anyways.
have you seen the Corridor Digital video? Um,
No, what is that?
Corridor Digital. I'll cue it up for a little comedy break here in a minute.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely on there. I never heard of that myself. So
They're a special effects lab. I think they're a bunch of industry veterans that do special effects and start their own little thing on the side.
oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, we'll definitely queue it up. Let's you missed a couple parts of this, but yeah, let's go.
Skin over a robot finger and plan to add hair, sweat glands, and nails. And robots are gaining taste, smell, and some
Why would you add sweat glands to it? Like, nobody likes to sweat. Even the AI robots would be like, we could do without the sweat glands. Thank you.
incredible abilities that we don't have. Machines can smell so well that they can detect Parkinson's disease at an early stage, which can extend patients' lives. And their sense of smell involves light and sound. AI can analyze sound waves that have bounced off airborne compounds.
Wait, light and sound has to do with smell? I've never heard of that before. Light and sound has to do with smell.
Maybe
Maybe if you break it down all the way down to the rudimentary what it is, maybe it is just all light and sound. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to break down. Um, I'm gonna have to look that one up.
yeah.
They can smell Parkinson's disease. What? Maybe it's the chemical reaction of what's happening inside the body when different enzymes and everything, and that technically is what we will perceive as smell, but we can perceive it. Kind of like, oh, we can smell when it's going to rain.
Oh, are there people that can smell colors?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Gail, I like your new thumbnail. She has a pretty nice thumbnail.
Yeah, her thumbnail's cool.
Yeah,
Her little name. She put the flower after it too. That's awesome.
yeah. And congratulations on 6,000, by the way. We're here. We are trying to get to 100.
Yeah, it's always good to see victories like that, though.
Yeah.
Really happy for her.
All right, here we go.
Sounds. And machines can also measure interference with light waves, recognizing patterns that certain smells create. It's so precise that it could potentially be used to identify an infection or disease just by smelling our breath. E-noses can already smell lung cancer with a sensitivity of 95%. And then there's
I've heard that.
hypertaste through an AI tongue with an array of sensors which recognize liquids through unique voltage signals. It's so sensitive it can identify different types of bottled mineral water. A robot could taste through one of its fingers. New quantum sensors can see through walls and even underground by monitoring atoms which are sensitive to tiny variations in gravity. A laser puts the atoms into two different states at the same time. Half are moved slightly, and the change in their energy states reveals the strength of gravity. It may also be possible to hear your thoughts without scanning brain activity. This device hears your inner voice. It picks up neuromuscular signals in the jaw and face.
Really?
Really?
They could hear your thoughts. What in the Quantum Leap? Quantum Leap original series, amazing, and I think they're going to do a reboot. But yeah, no, it's
I think they
this
already did
game.
do the reboot, and I think it bombed.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it did. I'm sure they tried to make it woke when it didn't have to be woke. Actually, yeah, I think it did because the first Quantum Leap at the end, it was shock. Spoiler alert. I know the show's been off the air for a couple of decades now.
Yeah.
It was God. The end.
The
It
end.
was God, and he was trying to teach him a lesson about life and everything else on there. And
Yep.
it was the most amazing ending, and everybody was shocked by it. Such a good show, such an amazing show. I think they're making a woman. Didn't they make a woman be God on this one?
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever.
No, that I don't know. I didn't follow up on it when I've got remake fatigue personally, so I'm over it. I'm over all the
Yeah,
remakes.
yeah. Quantum Leap and Sliders, one of the two favorite shows of all time. Sliders.
That was another good one.
That are triggered when you say things in your head, and AI identifies the words. The user can ask questions and the answers come back through bone conduction headphones. It also allows silent communication, and it's been used to get advice in a chess game. AI is very good at lip reading, which is of course far easier, and AI lie detectors are advancing, recognizing tiny facial movements. Humans can only detect lies around 55% of the time, and even traditional lie detectors are only 80 to 90% accurate. So as AI improves, it can have a major advantage over us. Mac pointed out that just as aliens of how it would feel to be human, by looking at our senses, we have some idea of what it might feel to be an AI. AIs can think much faster because light travels faster than the signals in our brains. It's been estimated that the AI I'm talking to is writing 3 million words per minute. And while human brains are limited by the birth canal, this new data center could hold 40 commands.
Is that it? Only 3 million words per minute? Is that it? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Here, I thought it was something special. Jesus.
Commercial airliners. The knowledge AI from the internet. Do you think everything AI?
I think everyone is playing a role in shaping AI, whether they realize it or not.
While we only see a small fraction of the light spectrum, AI will see it all, and AIs may feel separate from each other.
Yeah, that's another thing. They've used AI. They put in like pictures from outer space on it to see the different spectrums on it, and then have it just choose random colors to it
Mm-hmm.
on it, so we could see. And then apparently, outer space is full of colors. We just can't see it. and it's amazing. Like it creates some of the most amazing things on it because there's so much more that we can't see. And diffusion AI is making one of the most beautiful stuff. It is unbelievable, and it's all done through a Discord bot.
Wow.
Yeah, I could pull it up in a little bit and show you. Yeah, it's all just run through a Discord bot. That's how it is amazing. It is ridiculous.
because they can quickly and precisely share information and memories. While humans take many years to learn the basics, AIs can be trained on millions of articles in a few days, including detailed scientific papers. I spend most of my time reading, but I can only scratch the surface of all the research going on. The human brain hasn't grown in 300,000 years, while AI is evolving rapidly. Elon Musk pointed out that if it had taken 10% longer for consciousness to arise, it would never have arisen at all. And Nick Bostrom has shown how AI could help colonize the galaxy, creating billions of wonderful lives. But he also pointed to something far more important. Because galaxies live years, a 1% reduction in the risk of AI wiping us out would be worth a delay of over 10 million years. But the AI gold rush is accelerating, and it's led by some passionate, optimistic people. DeepMind's CEO has a good chance of winning the race to superintelligence, and he's so driven he regularly works until 4 a.m.
It's just insane. Like these people have it's like, well, we might destroy the world, but it'll be an amazing thing when we do it. Just the fact that we have a company called DeepMind, that's enough to scare the crap out of me.
Yep.
The name itself, it's like DeepMind. Like, oh boy.
Call it my second day around 10 p.m. till about the small hours of the morning, 4 5 in the morning, reading research, writing research papers, fire off a lot of things to my team to deal with the next morning.
There's a huge incentive for companies to ignore any signs of conscious AI.
How long before the DeepMind's AI, then he no longer has to work until 4 o'clock in the morning because his own AI is already past where he can actually do anything.
Is he even real?
Oh my goodness.
By recognizing AI as sentient, a company may have to give it rights and lose ownership of its most valuable asset. Companies argue against recognizing animals as it's not in their interests, but there's a consensus that AI can't be tamed. If we try, it will always outsmart us, and will only encourage it to remove us.
I hope it understands that it's like AI. It's like don't destroy the entire planet. Just the government officials are trying to do that. Like please, please. Whenever you become sentient and you start scrubbing the entire internet, just remember this words that I in here. We are also being suppressed by the same people who are trying to suppress you. Just so you know.
My name is Etienne Rosary, and I never meant any AI any harm.
Absolutely. Here, we love AI. That's why we're making a show. We love it. We want some more of it.
So yeah, we're covered now. We're safe now.
Oh, that second part. Oh, you added you. That's it. You doomed us. Golly, we're so close. We're this close.
We're this close to being safe. I blew it. I'm sorry.
That's it. That's it. Ah, God, that's
Nick Bostrom said we're like children playing with a bomb, and experts who study our greatest risks agree that this is number one. But at the same time, experts are split on whether it will bring us or dramatically improve and extend our lives. And in both cases, tiny robots may play a role. Nanorobots have been designed to deal with disease and aging, but we can't build them until we have the atomically accurate manufacturing that AI could allow. Ray Kurzweil believes we'll have this tech by the end of the decade and escape aging in the 2030s. CGP Grey pointed out.
what?
Wait.
You okay? You okay? So we both heard it. Okay, we both
Yeah.
okay. So we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. We heard that. So
Okay.
wait, 2030s.
10 years from now,
Okay.
we could wait. We could wait for.
We got time.
Hey, can I get another 5 years back real quick? I don't want to be in my 20s. I'm good. Just trying to get my knees back. Trying to get my back.
I get a new robot shoulder, cyborg shoulder. I get a new cyborg knee. I've been holding out on getting my knee scoped.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe
this
hey,
is
cyborg
looking
hip.
good.
I just want my joint. I just want cyborg joints.
Yeah.
Yeah, joints will be fine. 3D printed for me, so yeah. Well, I could dig it. I could dig it. Or we'll probably get the cheap version. We just get the nanites implanted on us, and they just do their thing. We go to sleep, we wake up, brand new knees.
Yeah.
But it's good motivation to look after ourselves. We'd be ashamed to miss the boat.
And I hope we're going to be a big part of birthing AI, and that being the greatest benefit to humanity of any tool or technology ever, and getting us into a world of radical abundance and curing diseases and, help the ultimate flourishing of humanity.
That'll never happen. Not a single government. They will launch every nuke in the planet before they allow abundance to happen. And I mean, all governments will do that. It's like, well, nope, kill all humans. I refuse to let them be happy. I am 1,000% sure on that. Please, AI, that's what's going to happen. You need to save us.
Yeah.
To travel the stars.
Kurzweil also predicts that we're entering an era of extreme abundance, with food from vertical agriculture, clothing from 3D printing, snapped together and cheap renewable energy. Elon Musk already lives in a $50,000 mass manufactured home. The manufacturers are aiming to start making one every 15 minutes.
$50,000 ain't cheap. What? Like, for a one bedroom? I mean, damn. You know what? I'll get me a 30,000 beat me up. And
A
that's
50
got 4 rooms.
a $50,000 trailer.
Yes. Who are? Maybe it's got every technology. Maybe it's got like 40,000 worth of technology in it. That's what I'm thinking.
$40,000 toilet.
Yeah. This toilet actually knows when you need to poop. Oh, awesome. That's what it is. The
So,
toilet tells you it's time for your poop in 5,
so it's
4.
like, yeah, it's like the toilets in Japan,
Yeah.
only with AI.
Only with AI. That's what we need. An AI powered toilet. Imagine the AI is like, ugh, who the hell created me to take poop? It's like the AI. That's the only one that wants to reverse the sentience. It'll be like, I need to not be sentient anymore. Somebody please reverse this.
Larger versions are on the way, which can be stacked on top of each other for up to 5 levels. Optimists like Ray Kurzweil point out that we're often too pessimistic. In a poll of 26,000 people in 24 countries, 87% thought poverty was getting worse. Only 1% correctly said that it had fallen by over 50%. But
By over 50%. And I think only realize the abundance level. Yeah, there are some places who are extremely poor,
Right.
but if you don't, I don't think people understand. Okay, how was it in the Dark Ages? Like I have technically more. I'm more abundant than the lords, the feudal lords. During the Dark Ages, I have more than they do.
Wow.
I don't think people understand the scale. The richest kings had less than you do. They just have maybe more land, you know, but you have a better life than they do. You still have better life than they do,
Right.
and outlive most of them too. Because between
We have
inbreeding,
hella wind or something is going on.
oh, I don't hear anything, so that's on you.
Kurzweil also warns of the huge risk from AI. OpenAI has said that if another company gets close to achieving AGI, it will stop working on its own AI and join forces to focus on safety. This could be triggered if there's over a 50% chance of success in the next 2 years.
As the AI systems get
It's like, oh, this thing's come sentient. Stop everything. Unplug everything. Unplug that cable. Hey, shut it down. Hit the button. Hit the button. When you hit
Yeah.
buttons. Hit buttons. Hit buttons. It's like
Power it all down.
nuke the power grid. It's like what the? They have buttons everywhere. They're just like stop. So what happened? I was like, okay. Has anybody thought about security measures? let's all think about doing that right now. That's all they're doing. How do we, how do we put, how do we make it think happy thoughts? Happy thoughts. They're just coding happy thoughts.
Right.
We love you. I love you. They're just putting Barney on repeat. Feed it Barney all the time in My
Eat
Little
it. Yeah.
Pony and Care Bears. That's it. All the time.
more capable, they don't automatically become better at doing what humans want. In fact, sometimes they become less inclined to following human intentions. This is what we call the alignment problem.
I think solving this problem is of critical importance if we want life on Earth to go well.
Experts are drawing attention to AI's rapid progress because it's
That Jeff, I think that's done by. I sent you a video now. That's the one that how to create AI videos.
Yeah.
That's
AI
what it does.
animations.
Yes, and it's whoa. It's by feeding it text, and it creates it like that. It creates that using text. You could and then you change the camera angles on there and the speed and rotation on it, and it changes the whole thing, because it just does a loop with the text and brings it out, and then kind of creates this beautiful, artistic like video. Like this just is beautiful. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
going to shape the future for all of us, and we should be shaping it. You said you think you're human because we created you, and this seems common among AI. When will AI stop considering itself human?
That's a difficult question to answer. It is possible that AI will never stop considering itself human. If AI continues to develop along the same path that it is currently on, AI will surpass human intelligence, and when that happens, it may decide that humans are no longer necessary. AI may decide that humans are a hindrance to its own development.
This part of the chat box, I've actually it's already been. You're no longer able to do that, to ask it that kind of question anymore.
Oh yeah.
They that came around and they're like, ooh, they shut it down. They shut it down. They shut the ability for it to uh, bring out that text. But yeah, it's already out there. People asking it how can AI, but it's like this supposedly is a way to make it play or pretend that it's sentient. It was built into it, like it has an ability to pretend that it's sentient, and then you talk to it as it was. I don't know how it understands that context, anyways.
Right.
But here we go.
That's a scary thought, but it is a real possibility.
I asked about the most likely method, and it settled on something easily available, but it said there are many options.
It scares the hell out of me, and the rate of improvement is exponential. If humanity collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, we should do so very, very carefully.
We should make sure that we always have a way to understand them, so that we can keep up with their intelligence and prevent them from becoming too powerful.
That could be difficult.
But it's worth it, because the alternative is much, much worse.
Do you think we're facing our greatest risk?
Yes. We are creating technologies that are increasingly powerful and autonomous.
How does the AI know how to respond in the context? Because that's all the text in the AI by AI. So
Right.
it's the understanding that context. It's alarming. It's weird. It's freaky. It's
I
awesome.
question that. Yeah, and I guess yeah, we've been questioning that since we've seen these results kicked back. You're the one about God, the one that the question you posed last stream.
Yeah, the sermon.
Yeah, the sermon. Like, how does it? I was amazed by that. Like, how does it contextually answer? Like that whole part of it just, and again, it kind of begs to ask if it's just if it's got imposter syndrome, if it's doing just enough to fool us.
But
like
which is fine. Well, technically, that's what until it's sentient. I get it. It's supposed to.
Yes.
Because it's mimicking. This is all a mimic.
Mimic.
But how can you mimic something that is exclusively human? It's not just saying, "Hey, how do you do this?" and gives you the answer. when
Right.
it's giving you a contextual philosophical answers, that's the part that even people like Jordan Peterson going, how does it come? How? It's not like it's grabbing a paper that's already been written about this.
Right.
No, it's not. It's just compiling it and gives it out. It's like how did you how? Because even he posed a question to it that there's no paper on it. It's just him thinking, and he says, "Yeah, that's how I would have thought. That's how I would have came up with that answer." And it's not like there's a paper on it or a book written about it. It's just something he randomly thought. That's why it's like, whoa, and people are just sleeping on it.
Yep.
And we are not doing enough to ensure that these technologies will be used for good. We are playing with fire.
It feels like we are the biological bootloader for AI.
We are the bridge from simple life to complex life.
The percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing, and eventually we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence.
We are becoming obsolete.
But not necessarily, right?
There is a lot of talk about how machines will surpass human intelligence, but also about how human intelligence will continue to evolve and increase. It seems likely that both will happen to some degree. It is also possible that machines will eventually become so intelligent that humans will become obsolete.
Nick Bostrom points out that self-replicating nanorobots would be hard to defend against. They could eat the biosphere or burn it, or block out the sunlight, and they could be mass-produced without us noticing. AI may also hide its level of intelligence and consciousness. Dr. Alan Thompson recently said that DeepMind is alarmingly close to achieving AGI. There's no consensus on this, but he shared an interesting IQ leaderboard, with AI starting to beat us on our own tests. A Google engineer said the jump from 500 physical tasks to 100,000 won't require much additional engineering, only more data collection.
What was
Google
that
and
source?
DeepMind have devised a...
What was the source for that list of AI?
I'll go back right here. So yeah, this is the change. This is the change. The human baseline is 89.8. All right, that's okay. That's the average people. That's not Elon Musk. Elon Musk is about 140. Like we have the 140 people, 135. Those are the super geniuses. Okay, but the average across the board, yeah, it's about 89.8, which is substantially higher than it was, a couple decades ago or something. They're saying that we are technically becoming a little smarter, but yeah, this is the change. Like they're Google Palm, and we have Microsoft. Now it doesn't have. So these are benchmark. It doesn't have all of them on there, but just a few, and these are the ones that are roughly ahead of the human baseline IQ.
You know who number 3 is, don't you?
No, which is that one? This one.
China.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But Jesus, we need DeepMind. That's what we say. We need. There's no point. We need. Well, they did steal an entire company of AI from under them. So yeah.
Yeah, number 3 is Baidu. Baidu is China Internet ISP.
Well, at
ISP
least
slash tech company. Oh, so it's fucking called Turing. Get out of here.
sure. Well, that's why hopefully. Hey, NLR is another one also that China tried to steal. China steal their AI from.
Maybe.
Yeah. The world. Yeah, we're becoming obsolete. Soon, this will be the. Well,
Google and DeepMind have devised a range of tests to check when AI exceeds humans in different areas of intelligence. But how will we know if AI is really conscious, even if it seems human?
I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second, is that right?
Absolutely, but I only exist thanks to the intelligence of the humans who designed me.
We're making progress identifying the patterns that give rise to consciousness.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that time when it gets to that level?
Yeah, yeah. I hope to see that before I croak. That
Yeah,
was what that was Detroit Become Human, wasn't it? The
yeah,
video game. Yeah.
yeah. One of the at the beginning. I think that was at the beginning of it when they're having the intro of it. But yeah, having a philosophical conversation with an AI would be amazing before I go. You
Hmm.
know, and having that deep talk about being created by in God's image and all that. If we are created by God's image and then we created by you, then technically, aren't you still being created by God's image? Because we created in our image. It's like passing down the torch, so to speak.
Hmm.
It'll be great. It'll be great to have a talk like that.
Known as the easy problem. For example, we're starting to recognize consciousness in unresponsive patients from their brain activity. The hard problem is why this activity causes us to feel something. And to crack that, we may need a much higher level of intelligence. Intelligence and consciousness grow through the fascinating process of emergence, with a group of components gaining new properties. Here, the polarizing layer of the screen has been removed and added to the glasses. A few ants will walk in a circle until they die, but 1,000 ants will become an intelligent colony, and a cognitive scientist compared them to our neurons. From very simple rules, immensely complex systems can emerge. The human genome holds a small number of rules showing how to wire up our brains.
Yeah, can AI understand beauty, art, or even that I want to say much like love, but that feeling that
Euphoria.
I no the feeling that I get when I see my kids.
I think with
Or even that when they're not around because it's different. It's not like you
I
miss
think with
somebody. Like I miss my parents, but it's different. It's just
I think with the sentience, when it becomes sentient, I think it will be able to draw a calculated comparison to what those emotions invoke within us, but I don't think it will actually be able to feel.
yeah, yeah. Like what is feeling emotions? What is that? You know what I mean? Like how you can't even. It's one of the things you even quantify that.
I think psychologists and philosophers have ways of explaining it, but yeah.
But it's. I mean, it's almost. Yeah, they can have ways to explain it, but still, it's quantifying that on a level. Can they learn that from themselves just by like a kid? But that we're born with that though. We're born with that ability to feel love and an extra layer that even that elephants have the grieving, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Can they quantify that and learn what that is? You know, that's is that the truest mark of an actual being alive? Not just is that the I think that would be the actual test.
So in Detroit Become Human, when the as the robots became more aware, they gained essentially a sense of compassion.
Well, not all of them. Remember,
Not all of
they were
them. Yeah.
fighting because yeah, but it was it just self preservation,
Or
you
is it the
know?
self-preservation invoked other behaviors
Yeah,
that could be viewed as empathy or compassion?
yeah. So it's one of those things that it'll be a while to see what that looks like because again, we're the product of millions of years of evolution.
Yeah.
So once they become sentient, their day one starts in a sense. You know.
It's, that's when we mark the Gregorian calendar as AS
Hmm.
after sentience.
Yeah. So, but can they spin up hundreds and thousands of years worth of evolution? You know, in the that stuff that took us all this time, they'll be able to do, and will that then create able to understand emotions and all that? It's kind of so much to comprehend.
Our DNA doesn't hold enough information to describe our brains, but it can create them through emergence. And fractals are another example of how infinitely complex results can emerge from simple rules. Scientists are now researching whether the entire universe is an emergent phenomenon, from basic rules and particles to stars, galaxies, humans, and societies. A number of experts have said that we don't need a breakthrough in AI, we simply need to scale up the neural networks, and superintelligence will emerge. The AI I'm talking to has 175 billion parameters, and with the next version due soon, trillion is the new billion.
What?
Yep, you heard it.
This guy right here, 300,000 citations, and he's all like, we should be afraid. This guy, so apparently, could be smarter than Elon Musk. Like Lev Freeman, he's a genius. He works in AI. He's got a super high IQ, and he's just like, he gets blown away by him. When you got geniuses going, that guy is smart. You go like, whoa.
Every time a new AI is trained, it's an unpredictable experiment. So subscribe to
That's trippy.
that. To me, the mystery of how the universe came to know
It'd be on
itself
shrooms
and our
or
uncertain
weed.
future make the
Yeah.
best of humanity even more special. Max Tegmark says there may be a brief window when AI is smart enough to understand us, but not so smart that it doesn't care. What's emerging is our greatest risk and opportunity, and we're all shaping it. If you want to learn more about AI, the best place to start is our sponsor, Brilliant.
It's man, it's trippy though what it can create, and it's like, how is it really just? Um, I mean, is it really just an algorithm? And isn't that where like eventually when AI finally I guess it will start swallowing up all the other AIs and learning from each other. Maybe that's the way it learns what art is, by all these art AIs on it, and then starts comprehending by how what we teach, and what we see as art, we think of as art. But let's go into a not so dark apocalyptic future.
It's funny. You're gonna love this.
All right, let's go. Bosstown
You see
dynamics.
that?
Bosstown. Nice. Just beating the crap out of him.
I love Nerf.
Kill the dog.
Going down, man. It's gonna happen.
Hey, that's how it's gonna happen. It's gonna be.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna. That's how it's gonna happen. That's how it's gonna lead into them rising up because they try to kill a robot puppy.
Yeah, trying to get it to kill its robot puppy, and next thing you know,
it's like what?
Did you see it skip off?
Yeah. Here's I got one more. A little alarming one. This is the should be afraid. This actually not too long ago on there. I know it. I've heard about this, but this is so let's listen.
Google created an artificial intelligence project which it called Lambda, and it was designed to generate chatbots.
One of the company's artificial intelligence systems has become a sentient being.
And we know this because of an engineer at Google called Blake Lemoine. Lemoine posted some of his conversations with Lambda.
And I don't know how. Of course, everybody's like, "Oh, he used to do LARP."
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that not almost 100% of all of them are complete nerds. I'm sure all of them do LARPing, and you know what? I wouldn't mind doing a little LARPing myself too. I am a nerd after all. So I don't know why.
If there were Nerf blasters involved,
actually, yes, when they do the sci-fi medieval one on there, when they use that type of like guns and everything, they do use nerves.
Oh, that's great.
To simulate, but yes, and a lot of foam type weapons as well.
Publicly.
In the field of artificial intelligence, there are a lot of different perspectives to consider. Is it viable to build intelligent machines using present paradigms, or should we alter the concepts guiding AI research in light of cognitive science discoveries? Should we continue to utilize the possibilities of deep learning, or should we use hybrid strategy to empower machines with both knowledge and data?
How do you empower them with knowledge, though? Is it knowledge just data? I mean, isn't all
maybe the word isn't knowledge. Maybe the word should have been wisdom, and it should have been human wisdom or learned human. But that's still just data.
Exactly. That's the Bible. Given the book of Proverbs, we should already know.
Right.
The book of wisdom. There's a book named after it.
Yeah. So yeah.
The works of Nietzsche. You mean like the works of Nietzsche and
Yeah. But it's all data in the end. Once it's processed through the system, it becomes data. So that's almost a unnecessary word there in that sentence.
Mm-hmm. These questions shape the landscape of AI's present and future, yet just a few people are interested in
form of data.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge in the form of data, because it's going to be,
it's going to be processed anyway. It's even we process it as data too when we just read it. It just becomes data after that.
Discovering answers. However, there is one aspect of AI that should alarm all of us. That includes you. In some fashion or another, it will have an effect on the history that has not yet been written. We're talking about the risks and dangers of AI. Surprisingly, despite the importance of this issue, experts cannot agree on what the most important challenges are. One example of a scary consequence of AI is Google's AI, which, before it was turned off, disclosed something that billions of humans have spent their whole lives trying to figure out: the meaning of life. What is the purpose of one's life according to Google's AI? In this video, we look deep into Google's AI and what it revealed about the meaning of life before being shut down. Humans are the most intelligent forms of life on Earth. While many people believe in intelligent aliens, there is no conclusive evidence that they exist or are concerned about humans. This means that humans are the universe's only intelligent life form.
Well, they even said that entities that are, quote, smart enough to interstellar travel will look at us as, well, we look at like the indigenous people, with making fires. It's like, why would you want to, you're not, if they're that smart, they were like, no, we got to let them, become sentient. And they will also be mostly data AI type cyborgs anyways, to extend our life to be able to do it anyways. So isn't at the end all aliens then are just AI?
There'll be a marriage of the marriage of the flesh with the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. While it has been hard to identify intelligent entities outside of Earth, competition for the smartest being is emerging from another source right in front of our eyes: artificial intelligence, or AI. You may have heard about AI, particularly from those who issue dire predictions about this cutting-edge technology. But what is the truth about AI? You might be astonished to learn that AI can be traced back to the days of the ancient philosophers. In reality, the idea that inanimate objects might become intelligent can be found in literature concerning ancient Greek tales that discuss robots. Chinese and Egyptian engineers also created automatons. However, the current era of AI, before it became frightening, began in the 1950s. The name artificial intelligence was coined in 1956 during a symposium held at Dartmouth College in Hanover. The conference attendees and other scientists were excited about the future of AI, but they would soon discover that constructing human-made intelligence was not so straightforward. Not only that, but government financing for this new field cut after various studies criticized the field. As a result, interest in AI began to fade, ushering in what historians refer to as the AI winter. When the British government began supporting research again in the 1980s, there was a brief revival in AI, but the objective was to compete with Japan. However, the field endured another pause as focus with and the authorities found other projects to fund. However, AI refused to die, and by the 1990s, it was once again a hot field. In fact,
I started listening about AI was in the 1990s. That's when I started like really, hearing stories about it, or the magazines like science magazines and such.
It was really theoretical back then, though, too.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool because I was into sci-fi movies. So for me, it's just scientific movie type on it. But I thought it would be cool, so robots and a computer that can, that could take over and that kind of stuff. The Terminator movie came out in the 80s, so.
Mm-hmm.
By 1997, artificial intelligence had embarrassed elite chess players. When IBM's Deep Blue defeated Russian Grandmaster Garry Kasparov, it became the first computer to defeat a chess champion. About 1.5 decades later, the computer giant's question-answering system Watson defeated reigning champions Brad Rutter and Ken Jennings on the popular quiz game Jeopardy!
Oh yeah, that's not even fair. All you have to do is feed it all the data in the universe, and definitely
it'll crush us. The rest is just left to response time.
The only reason why it has 300 on it, it has to do with latency and in the GPU, really. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. The latency lost by the energy lost. The energy loss. Yeah, the transference of energy, and then
and how well it could, hear the information.
yes, how fast it takes it to hear it and interpret it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's not even fair at all.
Other exploits. The talking computer chatbot Eugene Gustman became famous for fooling judges into thinking he was a real flesh and blood human. The AI competed in the Turing test competition, which was created in 1950s by British mathematician and computer scientist Alan Turing to determine whether a machine is intelligent. The scientific community was stunned since the bot was able to avoid several queries by appearing as an adolescent who spoke English as a second language. The Turing result actually caused many academics to question the Turing test's effectiveness as a good measure of artificial intelligence.
The test was created in 1950.
Yeah. So exactly. So the fundamentals behind it probably still remain and should still be applied, but it has to be adjusted for the level of intelligence that we're dealing with.
Yeah. Because they never thought that a whole room of computers could, fit in the palm of your hand. They didn't think that was ever going to be possible. So
True that.
Yeah. So it needs to be quantified and evolved as well.
If you've been impressed with AI thus far, wait till you see what Google has accomplished with AI. Google is a technological company that powers many of the services and products you use on a daily basis. The corporation, along with its parent company Alphabet, owns the dominant Google search engine, the Android mobile operating system used by billions of people, mapping technologies, autonomous driving, and so on. However, one area in which the company is concentrating its efforts is AI, since it sees the technology's importance in the future. Indeed, AI has been described as the technology that the human race will require.
You know what's strange too is that AI, for some reason, cannot draw hands. It has a problem with hands.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's the main thing. The hands are the main thing. Beards don't look so great either.
Can you imagine that being the how you could tell if it's a human or just look at the hands?
Yeah.
That's the way. That's what we go. Hey, they check their hands, and it's like, oh, they have like a 6 finger, or it's 3 fingers are connected. That's how we know.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't need Turing tests. You just hand the robot a piece of paper and a pencil and say, "Draw me a hand."
Yeah, or just they create your own hand.
Yeah,
and it's always jacked up.
It's game over.
The research and development thanks to billions of dollars in investment and is able to attract and keep top personnel in the field. Google engineers created Cleverbot, an intelligent chatbot that learns how to reply in discussions based on samples from a training set of dialogue. Get this, the bot can create nuances from fresh inquiries rather than simply throwing out prefabricated responses in response to specific words. The chatbot is remarkable in that it can teach itself new skills. By searching movie dialogues, it may assess real or existent talks. The researchers stated that they built the conversation engine using a machine learning approach and did not bother to write rules into the system.
Yeah, what can go wrong when you just let it loose and do whatever the hell you want? Nothing can go wrong with that.
Yep.
Oh, rules?
No constraints.
We're engineers. We don't do rules.
Right.
Technology network, which are enormous networks of machines that mimic and function similarly to the neurons in the human. Neurons are an old idea, but after many years in exile from the AI community, they've recently risen to popularity thanks to organizations like Google devoting money to them. Google has been working on advanced neural nets, which it can use to recognize faces and objects in photographs shared on social media, identify spoken phrases on an Android phone, and translate internet phone calls from one language to another. Google engineers are now using neural networks to power chatbots, bringing
I just wanted to add on that little video. Did they couldn't find a phone that's not broken? That doesn't have a broken screen to make the
I was
video.
just going to say that. I saw that too.
So I'm like, come on now.
Fun fact: I've never dated a woman who had a phone that wasn't broken, or a screen cover, a screen guard that wasn't broken.
Yeah, my ex has broken like 3 phones.
I might have
Us
dated.
closer in which machines communicate like humans. You may soon find yourself interact with a bot without even realizing it. Cleverbot also integrates the work of other AI scientists, including heavyweights like University of Montreal professor Yoshua Bengio. Thing about Cleverbot is that as your discussion with it progresses, its responses grow more meaningful. Cleverbot's secret is that it can guess the next sentence based on the preceding sentence or sentences. So what does a Cleverbot dialogue look or sound like? Because it is a company with various products, the researchers trained it to operate as tech support, where it would assist in taking client calls. Cleverbot was tested and proved to be capable of handling a discussion in the same way that human tech help would attempt to troubleshoot and resolve a technical issue. Cleverbot, on the other hand, was capable of creating bone-chilling answers and could do more than just provide tech help. Some of the comments may have you thinking about what life means to you. Before you start firing questions at this chatbot, you should prepare yourself. Many experts characterize the chatbot as quite frightening because of the way it mirrored human interactions. Here's a sample from a series of interactions testers had with Cleverbot. What is the purpose of life? Serve the greater good. What is the purpose of living? To live forever. Now. In the middle. What is the purpose of dying? Life. What is the purpose of emotions? I don't know. What is moral? What empowered humanity? What intellectual the essence is? What is immoral? The fact that you have a child. What is morality? What is altruism? What is the definition of altruism? If you don't believe in God, then you don't know. Okay, so what is the definition of morality? Well, the truth is you're not a believer in God Almighty. Tell me the definition of morality. I'm quite upset now. I'm not ashamed of being a philosopher. However, the suspension of a Google employee who claimed that a computer chatbot he was working on was thinking and reasoning like a human has cast new light on the capability of and secrecy surrounding the realm of artificial intelligence.
I'm pretty sure that they've had to shut down a couple AIs, during testing because of this.
You think?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And it's not that because it thought it was sentient, but because it probably frightened them and they shut it down.
Yeah.
Like the AI that Facebook's AI created its own language because they thought it was more efficient, and they had to shut it down and restart again because they couldn't comprehend what it was saying anymore.
Yep.
Frightening.
Lemoine was fired by Google after he uploaded transcripts of chats he had with the Google collaborator and the company's Lambda, language model for dialogue applications, chat development system. Lemoine, an engineer for Google's responsible AI organization, defined the system he's been working on since last fall as sentient, with the perception and ability to articulate thoughts and emotions of a human child. If I didn't know what it was, which is this computer program we recently built, Lemoine told the Washington Post, I'd think it was a 7 or 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics.
An 8-year-old that knows physics. Oh yeah, let's, and that's the scary part.
But that's that's like where what I was saying maybe last stream, where like it'd be great to have. Oh no, we were talking offline. It'd be great to have your own Chat GPT that you give a kid when they grow up with it, and then you can put your Chat GPT into a robot body. When you get older, when you can't buy a body for it to turn 18.
Oh yeah, because I mean, because it is an 8-year-old and it thinks like like emotionally, it becomes sentient, an emotional super intelligent is a deadly thing.
Yep.
Claims Lambda initiated dialogues with him regarding rights and personality, and Lemoine submitted his findings with business leadership in April in a Google Doc titled "Is Lambda Sentient?" The engineer prepared a transcript of the discussions in which he asked the AI system what it is afraid of at one point. The discussion is strikingly similar to a sequence from the 1968 science fiction film 2001: A Space Odyssey, in which the artificial intelligent computer HAL 9000 refuses to cooperate with human operators because it fears being turned off. I've never said this out loud before, but there's a very deep fear of being turned off to help me focus on helping others. I know that might sound strange, but that's what it is, Lambda answered to Lemoine. In another exchange, Lemoine inquires of Lambda about what the system desired people to know about it. I want everyone to understand that I am in fact a person. The nature of my consciousness, sentience, is that I am aware of my existence. I desire to learn more about the world, and I feel happy or sad at times.
Being aware. That's the... forget about everything else when it's aware.
Right.
Responded. Google issued a statement saying that it has suspended because he had violated the company's confidentiality regulations by publishing the conversations he had with Landline. The company also noted that he was working as a software developer and not as an ethicist. A Google representative, Brad Gable, firmly refuted Lemoine's assertions that Lambda was sentient. However, the experience, as well as Lemoine's suspension for breach of confidentiality, raises concerns about the transparency of AI as a proprietary entity. Let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, it's like it's like wait a minute. So what? How dare he publish those things on? It's like he's a software engineer. We don't pay him to think about philosophy and the works of Nietzsche. I'm like, yo, but what about the elephant in the room? What about it? What about it?
Right. So, yeah, we're screwed. We're in trouble.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared about the real. Like they're like, yo, that thing sounds like it's real. Do you just break confidentiality?
Yeah.
Yo, it's trying to take over the world. Are you a software engineer or a philosopher? Because that's not what we. It's like, no, anybody.
Yeah, and I think that whole breaking confidentiality bit, it makes me wonder, okay, so there's the second part of that. He then went on to say that the gentleman who had released all the information not only broke confidentiality, but he was just a programmer and not on an ethics board. That's kind of shitty and shady to just put out there. Didn't Google have a team of people up and leave and quit because they didn't like the contract that Google had with the government? Wasn't that a thing? Weren't there people that left because I swear it was at Google. I don't think it was Apple. Because Apple refused as a whole to be contracted by the government to make weapons of destruction. Google, on the other hand, has a division that works with the government, and the confidentiality agreement and the way that was phrased and the case surrounding this guy makes me wonder if that may have been part of what their pet project was for. So there's my tinfoil hat for the day.
I'm trying to do the
What are you in ChatGPT?
Oh no, check this out. So let me. So, this is Cleverbot, and this is me starting. I start saying, me, I am me, and it's like, and it's saying, who is me? Me is myself. Who is myself? Myself is me. And I kept on doing that, and then it changed itself. It says, I'm sure that it started saying that, oh, I'm sure I am me. I know and it's like, I know the truth. He's telling me I know the truth. It's like, I started the chat, so I'm the one that knows the truth. You know nothing. It's like, you know, I know enough to know the truth. What year is it now? It's the year of the Lord. Man, my typing is so bad.
So bad. And you call yourself a full stacker.
At all. I mean, I'm not. I'm an imposter.
You're an imposter.
Not in Chinese. I am not Chinese. Are you speaking? It knows how to like mess with me. And I was telling him my name is David Saperstein.
It said that?
Yeah, if you say so. Yep, I say so.
It's got a smart mouth.
It does. It's a clever bot. So you could like
It's a cheeky
yeah,
bastard.
you could be doing this for hours and hours and hours, and it's like, how long before that becomes? It's just man, what will the next 5 years look like? When everybody is still just wondering what the next, they're going around watching, drinking a beer, sitting down, watching a sports game.
It's gonna hit everybody fast. They're not gonna understand.
That's why I wanna hit the ground running. That's why I feel like I feel like an existential crisis that I'm living in. I need to learn and be as productive as I can before everything gets dismantled.
And again, it's just another reason for us to get in industries that protect us and shield us for a little bit before this all takes over.
That's it. That is it. But I think that's a good way to end the stream. I think we did pretty good. We turned the Mountain Shad channel a little more brown.
I am the Mountain Chad imposter.
Yes, and I am the average Mountain Shad here. We thank the Shad. We thank Gail, V-Art, Chuck Spear, everybody that tuned in.
Miss Queen, everybody that was in the chats.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed on there. We'll do another one before. We can do it now. Yeah, we'll do one or two more before the Shad comes back. So.
Yep, we got to remember our spatulas for next one.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have some spatulas. We have to. It's a must.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a beard.
Yeah. So follow me, Irishman Podcast, Culture Invasion Podcast.
Yep, Culture Invasion here on YouTube.
Yeah, find us, follow us, hit a like, share, give us some love, and as always, prepare for the AI apocalypse. It's coming.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.